The story begins in a village named Katarov Village. This village has an S-rank dungeon and many adventures comes to try to clear the dungeon. RMC on the other hand is just a farmer. He is sad because someone had ruined his field. A guy then called him. It is Darga, the son of the village's head. Darga told RMC that he had heard that the MC's harvest for this year is poor. The MC knew it is Darga that ruined his field, but couldn't say anything as Darga is the son of the village's head. He apologized to them. In this country, people with silver hair are called alks and they're always bullied. This is because back then, an alk betrayed the human race and helped the demons. Because of that incident, the alks people would be hated and often be a target of bullying. The MC being an alk have no other choice but to endure it. After getting beaten up by Darga's gang, he wanders in the street. He is met by a girl, asking him if Darga had bullied him again. She asked him to sit and that she'll treat his wound. This girl is Namia. She is the neighbor and childhood friend of RMC. She is the only person in the village that is close to him. After getting his wound treated, RMC thanks her. She asked why people don't like RMC. The MC told him that there is nothing he could do about it and that his silver hair is just disgusting. She tells him that she personally found his hair cool. RMC is shocked. Even though his silver hair has only brought unluckiness, he is happy that Namia accepts him no matter what. She then told RMC that he is going to marry Darga. The MC is shocked and heartbroken, but realizing there is nothing he could do, forced a smile and congratulates her. Even Namia is shocked to hear his answers. She asked him if he is okay with it and whether he had planned to live in this village forever. The MC replied yes. She told him not to as everyone here bullies him. The MC told her that there is nothing he could do as this is the only place he could stay. She held his hand and asked him to run away with her. She told him she had some savings and that while not much is enough for them to get by. RMC asked her if she is sure. She confirms it saying she don't want to marry someone like Darga. Hearing this, the MC agreed and told her that he loved her. As nighttime came, RMC packed his things and went to meet Namia to run away, telling himself that his dark days in this village will finally be over. On reaching Namia's house, he heard a scream. It is Namia's voice. RMC runs in the house, only to discover Darga's group trying to force Namia. Darga asked RMC why he is here. RMC asked Darga what he is doing. Darga told RMC that he can already see what he is doing. The MC then told him to move and punch Darga. Darga fights back and the group then gang up on RMC. Namia cried out telling them to stop. Darga then asked him again as to why he is here. He told him that Namia is her fiancée and why did he come here at this time of the night. One of the guys then hold RMC from the back while the other plucked and pulled one of his fingernails. RMC screamed in pain and Dargo then told his friends to pull the other one. Namia told them to stop and that she'll tell them the truth if they stopped. RMC told her not to say anything but is shut up by Darga. While Namia is telling them the truth, RMC is constantly getting hit, losing his consciousness. Before losing his consciousness, the last thing he saw is Darga choking her life out. The next day, RMC is taken to a court where he is framed for the murder of Namia. As a punishment, RMC is sentenced to exile to the Katarov dungeon. They asked him if he had any last words. The MC didn't say a word. Even though he isn't in the wrong, the false testimony from the Darga and his friends, as well as the appearance of Darga's father would make everything useless. They then commenced the execution. Being exiled to the dungeon is the same as death as no one who used the teleportation came back from it. The MC is pushed to the circle. As he is being teleported to the dungeon, the feeling of hate for them is all he could feel. He then wakes up in the dungeon. As he wanders the dungeon, he hears a noise approaching him. It is a bugbear. He had heard of bugbear from adventurers that once you met this monster, you'll never be able to go home. The bugbear notices RMC and begins chasing him. The bugbear lifts his fist trying to strike RMC but barely misses. The MC screams for help. A figure then appears in front of him, asking him if he wants its help. The MC begs for help. The figure then turned to a girl telling him that she'll give him a skill and held out her hand. Her hand then starts glowing. A system then notified him that he had received a skill called Save and Reset. The girl then disappeared. The MC wonders how he is going to use the skill to defeat the bugbear. The bugbear then hit the MC and with just one punch RMC died. He then wakes up surprised he is not dead. Just then the bugbear appeared behind him, punching him and killed him again. Just like before, he woke up and the whole thing started again. This is the skill that the girl gave him. Every time he gets killed, he reset and goes back in time. The MC tried running away only for him to be knocked to the wall, dying again. Even if he dodges to the left or right, he still ends up dying over and over again. He couldn't handle it anymore and just wanted to die. Then he figured if he turned the skill off he would be free from the cycle. But as he is about to turn it off, all his memories started flooding his thoughts. Namia, Darga who killed her and the villagers who tricked him. This reignites his hatred for them. He then charged towards the monster, dodging its attack. But even though he had dodged the first attack, the second attack still got him. In the end RMC still died. But with the new knowledge he had obtained decided to try again. After many deaths the MC had figured out almost all the upcoming moves of the monster. Dodging, rolling away and hopping behind all its attack. He even manages to land a good hit on the monster's face. He did this to buy some time for him to escape. As he is escaping he accidentally falls on a trap which ended up killing him again. On his next try he jumped on the pit, landing in a way that none of the spike kills him. There is a hidden pathway on the bottom. Going through the hidden pathway he enters a room with a chest in the middle. Inside the chest is a crystal of wisdom, which can grant him one of the 5 skills each with different rank and effects. After carefully thinking about what skills to choose, he decided to choose the S rank skill because it had the stealth skill on it. After acquiring the skill, the entry door closes and many bugbears is then summoned to the room. RMC is then killed by the monsters again. On his next try he decided to choose acceleration this time. The skills allow him to see the monster's movement in slow motion which allows him to dodge easily. He strikes one of the monster on the head but broke his arm in doing so. His body could not handle the impact of the acceleration skill and ended up dying to their attacks again. Even after a total attempt of 225, the MC still end up dying. He would try poking their eyes but they endure the pain and still attacked him. He would also try to strangle one from behind only to be killed by the other monster. After 300 attempts he came to the conclusion that he can't defeat them with the acceleration skill. After all his failed attempts the MC is getting a bit tired, but the thought of Darga and his hate for him is what drives him till now. He promised that he'll escape the dungeon and take revenge with his own hands and decided to choose taijutsu. He explored all the possibilities with this skill. Then after his 420 attempts managed to kill one of the monsters. He leveled up his physical strength from 1 to 2. If he could keep defeating them he thinks he'll able to defeat 10 of them eventually. A message then pops up, telling him that he needs 100 SP to advance to the next level. The MC did the maths and figured out that one of the monsters is worth 12 SP. So, in order to attain 100 SP he has to defeat most of them. Without raising his skill level, it is impossible to beat them. Even after 510th attempt he still fails. He started crying saying why did these things happen to him. He again promised himself that he'll escape the dungeon and kill every one of the villagers who betrayed him. Even if he said these, he is filled with pain and exhaustion and is already in despair. He had somewhat given up on ever escaping the dungeon. Without paying attention he had accidentally chosen a skill called Provoke. He thought that such skill couldn't be useful and thinks he'll just die right away, but decided to try using it. When using the skill, one of the monsters uncontrollably charged at him and knocked himself out by charging at the wall. RMC is shocked and decided to use it again, which ended up causing one of the monsters to accidentally hit the other monster. The MC laughed thinking this might be his way out. He continuously used his skills which ended up causing the monsters to fight among themselves, eventually killing all of them. The scene then cuts to RMC being chased by a headless mule. After he beat the room with 10 bugbears an exit appears which led to a new level. The handless mule is roaming on this new level and had killed him 10 times already. But luckily the respawn point for when he died has changed to the room where he defeated the bugbears. He sneaks past the mule and headed to a room where he hasn't explored before. In that room he found 3 teleportation circles. After thinking about it he chooses the middle. He is then teleported to a hallway. RMC decided to head towards the end of the hall. There he found a girl sealed away. The girl is the same girl who had given him the reset skill. He reached out his hand which breaks the barrier. She fell down and wake up. RMC asked who she is since she is the one who gave him the skill. She introduced herself as a Jiha Tsubaki. She is an ex-hero who is sealed away. She asked for RMC name and when told, tells RMC that it is a nice name. She asked him to bend down a little and kissed him. RMC shrugged her away asking her what she is doing. She said she did it to thank him. She then asked RMC if he wanted to get out of the dungeon. The MC said yes. She grabs his hand and then tells him that she'll get him out. She easily defeats the headless mule guarding the place. She asked RMC if he thinks she is strong. The MC say he do which makes her blush. He thinks if he sticks with her she might have a chance of getting out. She then stored some of the remains of the mule in her inventory. She then suggests they keep going. The MC asked where they were going. She told him that there's a room with a mini-boss and in order to move forward they have to fight him. RMC asked if she is really going to fight the mini-boss. She tells him that if it isn't for RMC she would still be sealed away, so she'll fight for him. The MC smiled and said that it is because of her that he also had lived this long, so they should be even. The two then enters the room. It is an S-rank golem. Uchiha told RMC to get behind her. She then charged forward fighting the golem. RMC watches her fighting the golem. She is able to hold her ground even against the giant golem. But suddenly she slipped on a rock which causes her to lose balance and get hit by the golem. She blocked the punch but is still sent flying towards the wall. As the golem went for another punch, RMC used his provoke skill to get his attention. The golem then turns toward RMC and punched him through the wall. Uchiha is devastated thinking RMC has died. RMC then revealed that he had dodged the punch and told her that dodging is all that he's good at due to his past experience. He then told her to strike the golem then. Uchiha then jumped and using a special move sliced the golem in half, killing it. She then runs toward RMC hugging her saying they did it. RMC thought that things were finally going to get better for him. Or at least that's what he thought. After defeating the golem they went through a secret passage, hoping to find exit to the dungeon. Uchiha crawled on a tunnel and told RMC she found a secret room. The secret room had beds and everything essential for resting. RMC asked what the place is? Uchiha told him it is probably the resting place of a vampire named Judith, who had made the dungeon her stronghold. He asked her if they'll be fine using the vampire room. Uchiha told him that they'll be fine and suggest they should stay here for the night as she is pretty tired. The MC had a bad feeling about it but decided that since Uchiha is there shouldn't be any problem. Uchiha asked RMC to sit next to her, saying she wanted to talk to him some more. As the two sat together, RMC asked her if she think he is weird because of his silver hair. Uchiha told her that she thinks his hair looks nice, saying there's something magical about silver hair and thinks it's pretty. He thinks back to time when he is discriminated because of his hair, and after Namia, Uchiha is the second person to compliment his hair. Uchiha told him that since she is from a different world, maybe that's why she felt different. The MC had never heard of any different world. Uchiha asked him if she believes him, to which he replied he believed her. She rests her head on his shoulder saying that's what she thought he would say. RMC's stomach then growls. She asked him if he is hungry. RMC told her ever since he entered the dungeon, he barely had any proper food. Uchiha then decides to cook for him using the headless mule meat she had stored earlier. Once the food is done, RMC, though hesitant at first to eat the meal, ended up finding it delicious. Since food in the dungeon is scarce and you couldn't make anything too sophisticated, but there is some small number of herbs and seasonings in Uchiha's item box. Using those she is able to make a delicious meal. This is our MC first proper meal after coming to this dungeon. He started getting emotional. Uchiha asked why he is crying and asked if she added too much spice. The MC told her yes, decided not to tell her the truth. After the meal, our MC decided he is going to sleep as he is very tired. Since there is only one bed, he decided to let her sleep on the bed and him on the couch. Uchiha told him that they both can sleep on the bed together, but the MC declines and decided to sleep on the couch. The two then sleep separately. Our MC thought about how as long as he has Uchiha's help, he should be able to escape the dungeon. He feels pathetic as he's relying on her for everything, and compared to her, he is basically useless. But his thoughts were interrupted by Uchiha, who is climbing on top of him. He asked what she is doing but ended up getting kissed from her. She told him to touch her and that she loved him. Our MC asked what he had done to deserve her love. She told him that he is the one who saved her. She is sealed away for hundreds of years and believed that one day her prince will rescue her. She gave the skill to anyone that had entered the dungeon, but all of them had lost heart along the way, and the only one that make it to her is our MC. She told him that he is the prince she is waiting for. As she started taking her clothes off, the MC stopped her. He told her that he couldn't do it with her as he already has someone he liked. Uchiha is a bit disappointed but push him down, saying if she can be his second then it is enough for her. She then started kissing him again. He started thinking of Namia and Darga, which make him push Uchiha away. He pushed her off the couch. He apologized to her, asking if he is okay. In that moment when Uchiha pushes herself on him like those guys did to Namia, he found her to be ugly. She apologized, saying she may have gotten a little carried away, and went back to her bed. The MC reconsiders about his action, thinking perhaps he could have been gentler when refusing her since he still needs her help to escape the dungeon. The next day as he woke up, he finds the lifeless body of Uchiha hanging. He started shaking and threw up. He starts wondering if it is his fault. Filled with guilt he started running. He crawled back to the entrance they came from and is killed by the headless mule. He then reset his life again. He starts wondering what should he do? His feeling for Namia is still strong, but in order to survive the dungeon and not wanting to let Ajiha die again, he decided to accept her love this time. He then reaches the room where Ajiha is sealed. Just like before he broke the seal. Waking up, she asked RMC who he is? RMC introduced himself. Ajiha then asked why he smelt bad. The MC wonders if this is the same Ajiha as before. He asked if she really is Ajiha. She then realized that this isn't their first time they met and asked RMC if that is the case. She then told him that it probably means he went against her last time. RMC told her that it's a misunderstanding and that he is not his enemy. Ajiha then choked him, telling him that maybe that's why she gets a bad smell from him. She then told him that he can't expect to just reset and do anything without consequences. That every action touched the soul. He asked who she is. She told him that she's someone like him and said that Ajiha refuses to talk to him. She then warns him never to get involved with Ajiha and then snap his neck. He then resets again. Realizing that she'll only end up killing him again, decided not to break her seal. This time he decided to use the teleporting circle on the left. Stepping on the circle, he is teleported to a hallway with only one way forward. Upon reaching the end of the hall, he encounters a girl drinking tea. She told him that it is rare for an intruder to come here and asked what he want. He then told her that he is looking to get out of the dungeon. She puts her cup down and tells him that he is being rude. She raised her hand, telling him that she is the ancestor of the vampires and that his attitude isn't right for someone who knows who she is. She scratched her wrist and using her blood, forms a sword with which she stabs RMC with. RMC then reset, scared of the two girls he had met. He recalls the time Ajiha told him about a vampire living in the dungeon. He thinks this is the vampire she mentioned, Judith. Knowing where both the teleportation led to, the only option left is the one on the right. He decided to use it and it led to room which have a black sword. The sword looks awfully suspicious, but decided to give it a try since he is already there. As he grabbed the sword, a sharp pain shot through his entire body. He couldn't let go and the pain lasted for a few minutes. RMC fainted. After he woke up, he found that the sword had merged with his hand. The sword is heavy and he couldn't let go. Having no other choice, he moved forward. He then encountered a werewolf. The sword then moved towards the werewolf on his own, pulling RMC. It pierces the werewolf and slashed in many pieces. The sword moved on its own and had a mind on its own. The MC then tried to use this newly attained sword to clear and escape the dungeon. He is able to easily defeat all the monster on his way. He then reached the room with the mini-boss. Entering the room, instead of golem it is a griffin this time. The two fought, with RMC winning. A new pathway opens. RMC is now confident he could use the sword to get out of the dungeon. As he continues along the hallway he started getting tired. The sword had fused with him till his shoulder. He wonders what's wrong with him and questioned whether the sword had gotten bigger. He then encountered Judith again, telling him how he has grown up. He asked her what she wanted. She told him that she wanted to dispose him, telling him that she wanted to destroy the parasitic sword on the right half of his body. The sword he is holding is a parasite which grows by feeding off of people. And in order to kill the parasite she had to kill RMC. She then rips her left arm, forming a sword out of it. She then leaped forward to strike RMC but he blocked it. With the help of the sword RMC is able to fight back. He then pushes her back. Judith then told him that a sword grown to that degree won't be an easy task to defeat. She then threw her sword hand above, making it explode. Upon exploding, it fired multiple projectiles on all direction, hitting RMC. Judith told her that she didn't want to use that move because she would lose her left arm for a while, but he left her no other choice. RMC resets, wondering what to do next. The first teleportation would lead to him getting killed by Ajiha. The second would lead to getting killed by Judith. The third would give him the parasitic sword, but only to end up getting killed by Judith in the end. The only option that allowed him to live even a while is the third option. He then recalled what Judith told him, that the parasite grows by feeding on human and eating monsters. He then tried to defeat many monsters as possible and grow the sword to its full potential before meeting Judith, hoping to be able to defeat her. He then rushed to get the sword and tries to defeat many monsters before Judith shows up. Repeating all the process again, he finally reaches the place where he encountered Judith. Reaching the place earlier than before, Judith isn't there. Using this to his advantage, he decided to move forward. He then encountered a werewolf nest. RMC is happy as defeating all of them will make the sword stronger. Moments later, Judith enters the room. She told RMC that the sword had grown quite large. RMC, who is barely conscious, asked who she is. Judith told him that even his main body's consciousness is already taken over. She then pulls her arm out, preparing to fight again. Even after feeding the parasitic sword, RMC still loses. He had tried fighting her multiple times. Even when he is close to winning, the parasitic sword would completely take over his consciousness. Even if he had left the dungeon with the state he would be in, there would be no point. All the route seems to be a complete disaster. He thinks about what he should do next. Then he remembers that there is one thing he wanted to try. He thought he'll just give it a try, and since he had died so many times, death isn't something he is afraid of anymore. He then decided to meet Judith again. Same as before, she would ask him what he wanted, but this time RMC decided to be respectful and bowed to her, asking her to make him her disciple. She told him that she is interested in his offer, but asked her what's in it for her if she took him as a disciple. He thought about it for a while and told her that he'll be her foot soldier who will follow her every command. She found his offer boring and killed him. He decided to try again. If he can offer what Judith wanted, he'll have a chance to get on her side. Reaching the place again, he changed his answer this time. He told her that he knew she had lived in this dungeon for a long time and that she must be really lonely. So he'll be someone he can confide in. She asked him what makes him think she feels lonely and raised her arm, planning to slice her wrist. He urges her to wait and tell her that he still has more to offer. She stopped and told him to continue. He told her that he had been working in the fields for a long time and that he's good at everything, especially when building a new hideaway. Judith then lifts her table, showing her strength and telling him that she is sure she could do better than him. She asked if he had anything else he could offer. RMC could think of nothing. He then gets up and straight up told her that he wants to get out of this dungeon alive, no matter what he has to do. He starts telling her about his story, how he is born in the village where the dungeon is located, how Darga killed the woman he loved, how they banished him and framed him for her murder. She asked what his story has to do with her. He told her that he'll take revenge on all those villagers, how he will kill and torture them in the most brutal manner. And to do that he needs her help and he'll give all of his dedication to achieve it. This sparked an interest in Judith. She told him that she found it interesting and wants to see how he will turn out, but advise him not to be too happy just yet. She then gave him a test which if he passed she'll allow him to be her apprentice. She asked him if he used the teleportation circle. RMC told her yes. Judith then told her that the dungeon is a bit unique and that once you step on one of the circles, you can't go back, but if they used a certain secret, they'll be able to access the other routes. She pushed one of the bricks on the wall, opening a new entrance. She continued pushing certain brick on a wall every time they stopped at a death end and opened a new pathway, till they reached the room with the parasitic sword. She told him about the sword and how she wanted to get rid of it, but never could because she can't touch it since it is a parasite. RMC asked what she wanted him to do. She told her that he must overcome the sword's parasitic nature and learn to control it. If he could do that, he'll pass the test. He asked if it is even possible. She told him that she is sure he'll fail in the end but doesn't have a choice, because if he refused, she'll just kill him. She then told him to grab the sword by the blade and not the hilt and pull it out. RMC did what he is told and asked what's next. She told him to swallow the sword. RMC is shocked, but seeing that he didn't have any choice decided to do it. He passed out and woken up to a strange entity with an eye and a mouth. The entity asked RMC if he is the one who wanted to be its master. The entity is the puppet sword. RMC asked where they were. The sword told him that the place is his deep world. RMC assumed it means his mind. He then asked the sword for its help, to lend him its power. The sword accepts it right away. RMC asked why he accepted it right away. The sword told him that there's something about RMC's soul that smells familiar, so the sword just thought it could go with him. He then wakes up in the real world. Judith is surprised as she didn't think he would not make it. Seeing that he passed the test, she decides to take him as her apprentice. He then started working under her. Few days passed and RMC is getting used to working under her. They slept in separate room because all the hideout has only one bed. He wakes up and head to her room to greet her, but still have trouble deciding where to look as she is still a girl. Judith decides to train him that day. She asked if he is ready, to which he replied yes. She then changed her clothes and the two head out. She asked him what skills he have. He told her that he only has one, provoke, keeping the reset skill a secret. They went to another room using a hidden pathway. The room also contained the crystal of wisdom. She then asked him to select a skill. RMC looked at the skills and found that they were not the same as the previous one. He asked Judith what skill he should choose. She told him that swordsmanship is the only one that she could think of and he could use it to control the puppet sword better. He agrees and selected the swordsmanship skill. To acquire his next skill, they then headed to the deepest part of the dungeon, where they found another skill chest. She told him this is a test of luck. She told him that the crystal of wisdom in this chest is from a woman with all kinds of skills and he could get one of her skills, but it's random. He opened the chest and attained the skill, attribute granting. RMC asked what the skills does. Judith told him that it is a rare skill but it is useless for him as he doesn't possess magic skills. She tried cheering him up, telling him not to get too disappointed as he might possess magic skill later. As they plan on heading back, RMC saw a black door and asked where it led to. Judith told him that it led to the room of the final boss and also the exit to the dungeon. This means defeating the boss in that room will lead to the world outside. RMC had finally found his way out. He asked Judith if she could not beat the boss in that room. She told him it is an SSS rank boss and ever since that boss spawned there, she hasn't been able to get out for 50 years. Therefore she needed the help of RMC. She wanted him to be as strong as she is or even stronger so that the two could fight the boss together. She then suggested they go home and train. RMC happily followed. The two then went back and began their training. Judith showed RMC how her magic worked. The MC already knew this as he had died so many times to it. She then formed a dagger from her blood. She also told him that he too can do it with the sword that is in his body and told him to focus. RMC began concentrating and focused. The sword then appeared in his hand. She then told her that she'll give him his first assignment, that is to try to land a single blow on her. When he managed to do it, he'll complete his task. RMC, a bit worried, asked if that will be okay? She reassured him saying that even she won't take the life of an apprentice in training. RMC told her that isn't what he meant, rather he isn't sure if it's right for him to hit her. Judith gets irritated by his question, asking him if it is even possible for him to hurt her. RMC tried to calm her down, but she leaped forward planning to strike. RMC managed to dodge her upcoming attacks. She told him that only dodging won't help him finish his task and continued her attack. RMC blocked one of her strikes which ended up knocking him back. The two then began their sparring. RMC think back to the time they first fought. Back then she used a big sword but now she's using a dagger. He decided to think of a strategy using this knowledge. He blocked her jumping strike as an attack from above won't blow him away. After that blocked, he counterattacked and planned to strike her head, but somehow only reaching her left arm. He quickly apologized to her for cutting her. She told him she is fine and it is nothing she couldn't heal. She congratulates her for completing his task. He bowed and thanked her. RMC, after attaining the sword and the swordsmanship skill, thought he had grown a lot and thought that becoming Judith's disciple is the right decision. She remarked his fighting style as not similar to that of an ordinary man and asked if he had experience in combat. RMC, thinking back to his past lives, told her that he had none. She is shocked and told him that he must be very talented. The next scene cut to a room where RMC is facing off against 3 headless mules. It is part of his training and today he is facing actual monsters. The mules fires burning projectiles at him which the MC deflected. Suddenly a blood dagger is also thrown at him. RMC barely blocked it. It is from Judith, who told him he needed to tighten his arm when facing multiple opponents. The MC said okay and decided to do what he is told. As the mules fires another projectile, he tightened his arm and blocked the projectiles more effectively. She then told him to kill them as they ran out of magic and told her to be bold and blunt about it. RMC then easily killed all the 3 mules. Judith told him he did a good job. RMC told her that if it isn't for her help he won't know what would have happened. She told him that if he died in a place like this it'll take her decades before she can go outside again and he don't even know how many decades that would take her. She told him that she will make him stronger and to be diligent. RMC bowed and tell her that he'll do his best. Then a message bar opened up telling he have acquired skill points. Judith told him to use it to raise his level. Opening up his skill menu, he found that he had finally filled all his 5 skill slots. Looking around his skills he decided to save up 30 SP more to raise his level of swordsmanship. She told him it is the safest choice. The two then head back to the hideout. On the hideout we see Judith waiting. He asked RMC if he is done. RMC said yes and that he'll bring it to her. He apologized for taking so long. Ever since he became Judith's disciple his job is to provide her monster blood. She has an obsession with drinking blood from teacups. She asked if dinner is ready. RMC told her that it should be done by now and brings out the dinner. It is a headless mule steak. Judith is a little disappointed since it is the same meal as the day before. He told her that there is nothing much he could do as they don't have much seasoning, but he managed to defeat a few wriggling trees and now they also have salad. Judith told him that she isn't a big fan of salad. He told her that she's be malnourished if she doesn't eat her vegetables. She told him that she doesn't need nutrients as she is a vampire. RMC gave up and asked her to wait a moment. He then brought some dried fruits. Judith is delighted. He told her that he had found some on the back of the dryad when he is picking the leaves and decided to collect them. He thought he let it sit for a few days to make the taste better, but decided to serve it today as today felt special. As they have their dinner, he told her if they had more seasoning he could make so much more than just this. Judith told him that if she could get out of the dungeon she could get the ingredients. RMC asked Judith whether she could freely go in and out of the dungeon. Judith told him that she could, and since vampires doesn't like sunlight, the dungeons were more comfortable for them. He then asked her if it is because of the final boss she is stuck in the dungeon. She told him that is one of the reasons. Back then there is a separate room from the boss room which used to have a teleportation circle that allowed her to go in and out of the dungeon, but one day someone destroyed it, preventing her from going outside anymore. He asked if she had any idea who would have done it. She told him that she had one idea. She believed it is destroyed to make sure Ajiha didn't escape from the dungeon. Once RMC heard the name Ajiha, his heart shuddered. He asked if she knew about Ajiha. She told him that she is a great person. Ajiha is the hero who subjugated the Demon King. RMC is shocked as it is different from the stories he had heard. The story he knew is that it is a warrior named Elysium that killed the Demon Lord 100 years ago, and not Ajiha. He asked why Ajiha is sealed. She told him that she didn't know the full details but advised him to never break her seal. He told her that he understood, but already did so in one of his alternate timelines. He hoped that his action in his past lives won't cause any problem. He then asked if she had eaten his share of the fruits as well. She declines. RMC told him that he hasn't eaten any at all, but she still declines. Given up, they decided to go to bed. For the next several months RMC continued his training under her, leveling up. By now his swordsmanship skill has reached level 3. She told him at that rate, the day they could escape from the dungeon together will be very close. He told her that he'll get stronger for her to take her outside. She laughed, telling him that he's getting better at this. She then headed back first to the hideout while RMC skinned the monsters. He summoned the sword, but this time at a smaller length, and begins skinning them. On his way back he accidentally went in on her while she is naked. He quickly apologized and tried to run away, but Judith stopped him. She told him that his reaction is interesting and laughed at him. The scene then cuts to them after they had their dinner. After cleaning the dishes, he told Judith that he is going to bed. Judith called him, asking him if just for that night would he like to sleep with her. RMC is a little shocked and asked her if there is any reason for it. She said she don't have any reason, just she didn't want to sleep alone that night. RMC told her if there is no particular reason then he'd just go sleep in his room like usual. She told him he is being mean. RMC then gives up, saying that they could sleep together that night. The two then sleep together on the same bed. RMC thought that if they are just sleeping together he guessed nothing is wrong with it. Judith told him the day she first met him seemed so long ago. RMC agreed. When he first met her, he finds her very scary, and to think that he is now sleeping next to her feels strange. He asked if she tried to kill him at first. She is surprised he knew. She probably thought RMC can see right through her, but he knew because she had killed him so many times before. She asked him to forgive her as all the people she had ever met all tried to kill her as soon as they saw her. He told him that he's not them and he don't hate her, even though he had been killed by her many times. He thought about how he is who he is because of her. He is grateful and have no reason to resent her. She touched his face, telling him she is glad to hear that and felt relieved that he doesn't hate her, while getting on top of him. She then asked what he thought of when he saw her naked today and asked him to be honest. He told her that he thought he looked beautiful. She asked what else. He told her she looked pretty and cute. She continued asking for more. He told her he thought she is erotic. Judith told him that is perverted. He asked her not to tease him. She apologized and asked what he would do if she shown him her naked body once more. In situation like this, our MC can't help but think of Namia and his incident with Ajiha. Confused, he struggled to find the right answer. He wanted to resist because of Namia, but if he rejected her, something like the incident with Ajiha might happen again. He gets up. He told her that he didn't think the life he had now is bad, but found it scary. If he'd continued living the comfortable life he's living, he is scared that the vengeful spirit in him would disappear. When those bears kept killing him, he had gone and cursed his fate. But now he is strong enough to defeat the monster and even have a cute girl on his side. He told her that he loved her but is not ready yet. Judith, a little disappointed, said she understand. She then kissed him and told him that once he had his revenge, they shall continue this. RMC is glad that she understands. As she told him that she loved him too. A person appeared behind Judith, cutting her head off. Her head is sent flying while her body rests on RMC. The person who cut Judith is none other than Ajiha. She asked why he chose Judith instead of Ajiha and told him to not mess with her.